Shambhala, sometimes referred to in the West as El Dorado or Shangri-La, is a mythological kingdom protected by a psychic barrier so that no one can find the kingdom who is not meant to. For centuries, the people of Tibet and Mongolia have believed in the existence of the mythical kingdom of Shambhala, hidden behind the distant mountains north of the Himalaya. According to the Kalachakra Tantra teachings, a line of enlightened kings is said to be guarding the highest wisdom for a time when all spiritual values in the world outside will be lost in a war and destruction. Then, according to prophecy, a great king will come out of this sanctuary to defeat the forces of evil and establish a golden age. What do you think about that, Clay?
Well, I do like that. I do. I like where this is going for certain.
Strong beginning.
A golden age. So what are we talking about tonight?
The floating city of Shambhala.
Ooh, I like this. I like this one.
I found this on accident, and it has a lot to do with what we've been talking about in terms of heaven and hell, mythology, all that good stuff.
Right.
So the prophecy of Shambhala states that each of its kings will rule for 100 years. There'll be 32 in all. And as their reigns pass, conditions in the outside world will deteriorate. Men will become more warlike and pursue power for its own sake.
So they picked out 3,200 years?
Apparently.
Okay.
And an ideology of materialism will spread over the earth.
Wow. You mean like consumer materialism?
Really?
Like mass-produced products available to everybody at all times?
When the barbarians who follow this ideology are united under an evil king and think there is nothing left to conquer, the mists will lift to reveal the icy mountains of Shambhala. The barbarians will attack Shambhala with a huge army equipped with terrible weapons. Then the 32nd king of Shambhala, Rudra Kakran, will lead a mighty host against the invaders.
Who?
Rudra or Rudra.
They just pick some guy out? I'm looking him up. I can't believe it.
You asked me a question that I can't even possibly answer.
I thought maybe you were like, don't worry, I've already looked into this. This guy is a pit boss in Vegas, but eventually rules the world.
He's predicted to defeat the barbarians when they finally try to invade Shambhala.
I wonder who the barbarians are. Alien?
That would be us.
Human?
He's supposed to be appearing to humans all over the world in the year 2424.
Uh-oh.
To defeat degenerate world rulers and establish a planet-wide golden age. But since you want to jump ahead...
I'm not. That old devil.
In a last great battle, the evil king and his followers will be destroyed. By definition, Shambhala is hidden. It is thought to exist somewhere between the Gobi Desert and the Himalayas, but it is protected by a psychic barrier so that no one can find the kingdom who is not meant to. Tibetan lamas spend a great deal of their lives in spiritual development. Lamas like the Dalai Lama, not the animal.
Gotcha.
Before attempting the journey to Shambhala. Those who try to get there, who are not wanted, are swallowed by crevices or caught in avalanches. People and animals tremble at its borders as if bombarded by invisible rays.
I'm picturing a place that's desert, cliffs, mountains. It's got everything.
It's supposed to be hidden behind the Himalayas if it's Shangri-La.
The Himalayas could mask anything, I suppose, right? They're big enough? Okay.
Mm-hmm. There are guidebooks to Shambhala, but they describe the route in terms so vague that only those already initiated into the teachings of the Kalachakra can understand them.
Kalachakra.
Strange sightings in the area where Shambhala is thought to be seem to provide evidence of its existence. Tibetans believe that the land is guarded by beings with superhuman powers, or if you've seen The Mummy 3, Yeti. Now a cooler.
That
movie sucked.
Yes, it did. Yetis are great, though. The coolers that keep things cold for a very, very long time.
Yeah, they are.
They are cool.
So, Kalachakra is Sanskrit for wheel of time. It is a complete, elaborately detailed cosmology. It is found in a tantric cosmogony. Okay. A traditional sacred explanation of the creation and structure of all. In the description, the microcosm that is man is not different from the macrocosm that is the universe. Besides these two very complex maps, one outside us, the other inside us, there is a given method, a way to practice and apply this knowledge in order to achieve ultimate happiness. Kalachakra refers to the symbol that represents this tantric teaching of the Kalachakra Dharma.
Interesting.
In the early 1900s, an article in an Indian newspaper, The Statesman, told of a British major who, camping in the Himalayas, saw a very tall, lightly clad man with long hair.
The Statesman, you say?
Yes. Apparently, noticing that he was being watched, the man leaped down the vertical slope and disappeared. To the major's astonishment, the Tibetans with whom he was camping showed no surprise at his story. They calmly explained that he had seen one of the snowmen who guarded the sacred land. A more detailed account of these snowmen guardians are given by Alexandra David Neal. Alexandra David Neal, who is an explorer who spent 14 years in Tibet, traveled through the Himalayas when she saw a man moving with extraordinary speed and described him as follows. I could clearly see his perfectly calm and passive face and wide open eyes with their gaze fixed on some invisible distant object situated somewhere higher up in space. The man did not run. He seemed to lift himself from the ground, preceded by leaps, like the Hulk. It looked as if he'd been endowed with the elasticity of a ball and rebounded each time his feet touched the ground. Okay, like Plastic Man.
I've read this somewhere.
His steps had the regularity of a pendulum. While people, especially Tibetan lamas, have been searching for Shambhala for centuries, those who seek the kingdom often never return, either because they have found the hidden country or have remained there, or because they have been destroyed in the attempt.
Right. Only their camel comes back.
Yeah. Except there's no camels in the Himalayas.
I'm just saying, but if there was, it would come back.
They're Sherpas.
Yeah, Sherpas.
Tibetan texts contain what appear to be historical facts about Shambhala, such as names and dates of its kings and records of corresponding events occurring in the outside world. Give Tibetans additional reason for believing that the kingdom exists. Recent events that seem to correspond to the predictions of the mythic kingdom add strength to their belief. The disintegration of Buddhism in Tibet and the growth of materialism throughout the world, coupled with the wars and turmoils of the 20th century, all fit in with the prophecy of Shambhala.
Here's one to think about. You're going to go. You've got all the backing. You got like Bruce Wayne money. You know you're going. Any animal, it doesn't have to be a llama. It doesn't have to be the thing you mentioned. You can get anything you want. What do you go with? What are you riding?
We're not talking about llamas, the animals. We're talking about llamas like Dalai Lama.
Oh, okay. But okay. Well, for me, the choice, hands down, Tom.
Well, they don't exist, but that would be cool.
Right.
But it is mythology, so
yeah,
I'll give that one to you.
Thank you.
Tauntauns are not bad.
Not bad.
I go with Snow Speeder.
Well, I mean, that's more of a mechanical thing, but okay.
Or an AT-AT. The giant AT-ATs.
The four-legged?
Yeah.
Okay.
The big old four-legged mechanical Empire Strikes Back things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
There you go.
Walk right the hell over those things.
Right.
And they're all atmospherically controlled, so I don't have to worry about.
Not only that, there's probably some type of something on there, even if it's a little bit antiquated technology, and you're like, you just press a button, you're all, there it is.
Yep. And
there's Shangri-La.
I can blow up mountains.
Let's go.
All right.
You blow it up. You don't even know why you're doing it. You just destroy it. You're like, I found it.
Just shoot it.
Destroyed it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I got rid of it.
They're like,
we're all safe now.
All the important shit was, man. You're like, don't worry about it. I took care of it.
Yeah. It's not important. That's not that important.
Take that, Indiana Jones. I bet Indy could find it, but not now.
In the mythology of Tibetan Buddhism, Mount Meru is a place which simultaneously represents the center of the universe and the single pointedness of mind sought by adepts. Thousands of miles in height, Meru is located somewhere beyond the physical plane of reality, in a realm of perfection and transcendence. Symbolic representations of Mount Meru are commonly found in Tibetan mandalas, contemplative diagrams designed to aid meditators in focusing. It is said that Meru has its roots in hell and its summit in heaven.
This has a Summerland feel to it. That thing I touched on when you said stop that night. I know you didn't put it in the casts. It's
Yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
we'll be talking about Summerland here.
Okay.
I have it written down. I have like a list of notes.
Do you?
Yeah.
I'm hoping for Summerland.
Meru is surrounded by 7 rings of golden mountains, each separated from each other by one of 7 circular oceans. A lot of sevens. The 7 heavens. Actually, there's 10 heavens, but
A lot of oceans. 7 of them.
a lot of oceans. The 7 seas. You know, it is crowned by a golden palace. Yeah, 7-Eleven, wherein Indra, king of Hindu gods, resides. The entire superstructure rises from an outer ocean and is flanked by 4 main continents, each with 2 subcontinents. Oh, almost sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
And the flat Earth.
Yes.
That's some of you are living on.
Funny that you mentioned that, because I do believe that they're going to touch on flat Earth, or they're going to touch on hollow Earth in this one.
Hollow.
The southern continent, Jambudvipa, corresponds. Jambudvipa. It corresponds to the physical Earth. Each of the other continents represents a nearby planet upon which transmigrating souls follow the yellow light path may be reborn.
Why yellow? The color of emergency.
I don't know.
Hurry up. I got to be reborn.
Well, yellow means to slow down.
Although energy takes, the color of emergency. They're like, you're going to crash into a school bus, guy. Pump the brakes. Energy doesn't have any constraints by time or any of the physics that we are bound by, from what I've read in popular mechanics. Anyways, you were saying.
It is said that all of these worlds are undesirable, for they are non-human worlds inhabited by sheep, cattle, or horses. The teachings of Buddhism clearly state that the existence as a human being is the only way to achieve Buddhahood.
Oh, Buddhahood.
So rebirth in any other form, like that of a diva or demigod, is a distraction from the path of enlightenment. According to legend, somewhere in the northwest region of Jambudvipa, or Jambudvipa.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like the second one better. Good.
Yeah, Jambudvipa.
Jambudvipa, man. In the south, where everything is round, and there's 7 of them. Yeah.
Lies the land of Shambhala. Yeah, this is a magical land. It's shaped like an 8-petaled lotus flower, ruled by priest kings for many thousands of years. In fact, the legend of Shambhala predates the introduction of Buddhism into Tibet. That's really interesting. In the Aboriginal Bon religion, Shambhala is known as, oh my God, it's grunge, Olmo Lung Ring. Olmo Lung Ring.
Olmo Lung Ring.
Yeah, Olmo.
Louis Cypher.
Like I said, oh my God, it's grunge.
George Clooney.
Olmo Lung Ring.
Olmo Lung Ring.
And is based on a square instead of a circle. Shambhala forms a gateway between the physical and spiritual realms. It is endowed with riches. It is ideally suited for the habitat of enlightened souls. They are not attached to the fruits of karma and are but one step from Buddhahood. This is the realm to be sought for rebirth if one desires the swiftest path to nirvana.
Nirvana.
In the Tibetan Buddhist version of the apocalypse, barbarians will overtake the earth at the end of Kali Yuga, the present age. It will be necessary for the king of Shambhala to join forces with the gods to wage war on the barbarians. The rabble.
Rabble helpers.
Yeah. At this time, armies will be sent forth from the city. The location, which has been kept secret for millennia, order will be restored on earth. Wisdom, which Shambhala has been holding, will be dispensed to the peoples of the world. Many Western explorers, after hearing tales of a golden city,
I heard it,
which they sought to find in the frozen wastes of northern Tibet, results in a present-day term, Shangri-La, much like El Dorado.
Hey, Mike, meet me at Honeycomb Hideout.
It signifies an unattainable goal. This is an unfortunate misunderstanding, for ultimately Shambhala is a place accessible to anyone if only one can be free of karmic attachments.
Oh, man. I didn't even have to go through all this stuff, man.
Just have to meditate a lot.
Just read the fortune cookie, bro. I don't know, Stu.
So Shambhala in Tibetan means the source of happiness. The kingdom of Shambhala takes a central place in the Kalachakra teachings. Not only did the historical, these names, Shakyamuni Buddha.
You know what we need to do?
Shake your booty.
You know what we need to do? We need to come up with a key card. And if it starts with an S, it's Sam. And we don't have to do these names. They don't know who we're talking about. They're not looking it up.
Shakira Buddha.
Just say Shakira.
Yeah, it's a shake your booty.
Shake your booty.
Teach the Kalachakra Tantra on the request of King Suchandra of Shambhala. Also, the teachings are said to be preserved there. And a few centuries from now, it is predicted that a spiritual revival of the world will come from Shambhala. Shambhala is usually depicted as circular.
Circular.
It's divided like a dharma wheel. It spreads out between high mountains and contains many cities. In the center of the hub is the capital, Kalapa. Several people, including the ones who brought the Kalachakra teachings into our world, are said to have traveled there or have had visions of it. One of the visionaries alive these days is Kamtrul Rinpoche. I think I'm saying that right. If I'm not, I apologize.
Or just go with Cam.
Yeah. A brief account of his vision can be found on the website of kalachakra.com. Look for Shambhala and vision.
Well, perhaps I will.
Okay. As His Holiness, the Dalai Lama, noted during the 1985 Kalachakra initiation in Bodh Gaya, Shambhala is not an ordinary country. And this is a quote. Although those with special affiliation may actually be able to go there through their karmic connection, nevertheless, it is not a physical place that we can actually find. We can only say that it is a pure land in the human realm. And unless one has the merit and the actual karmic association, one cannot actually arrive there. To the south of the town of Kalapa, the capital of Shambhala, is the Sandalwood Park. That sandalwood has come up quite often when it comes to demons. And
sandalwood it is. Sandal was quite a common, what do you call it, implement?
Yes.
It'd be like saying blood orange, what's the stuff you light on fire? It smells good. Sometimes it smells good.
Pokery. Yeah, pokery.
Yeah, get me another one of them orange pokeries, Clarence.
It's potpourri.
Potpourri. Give me potpourri. Oh boy. So who is on there? That's what I want to know.
Who is on where?
Shambhala. Is Hendrix there? Is Elvis there?
I doubt any of those guys were there.
Man, what if it was like I don't know, like the original Clash of the Titans, where you pull up somewhere and finally somebody wakes up. They're like, "I've been here for 4,000 years. You're the first person I talked to."
Yeah. You have to have, you have to be one with everything.
Well, that's tough. That's a tough one.
Yeah.
Your magical prowess would be so advanced. Why even be here at all?
To the east of the town of Kalapa is Lesser Manasa Lake. And to the west is White Lotus Lake.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Greater Mimosa Lake.
In between these two is Sandalwood Park. In the center of Sandalwood Park is the great Kalachakra Mandala, built by King Suchandra, first king of Shambhala, consisting of the gods and goddesses, made out of the 5 jewels, square, 400 hastas across. I don't know what that means, but it's big.
Okay.
Outer Shambhala exists as a kingdom in the external world. The inner Shambhala lies hidden in the body and mind, and the other Shambhala is the Kalachakra Mandala with all its deities. The outer journey to Shambhala bears close relation to the completion stage practice of Kalachakra. The physical obstacles on the way represent inner barriers that must be faced at the psychic centers, kind of like becoming a Jedi. These barriers form the knots that block the proper energy from, that flow through the psychic nervous system, as they correspond to mental defilements, such as ignorance and lust, that limit our awareness. Working one's way through the chakras until one has opened them all and liberated the innermost mind from its imprisonment. The outer journey to Shambhala bears close relation to the completion stage practice of Kalachakra. The physical obstacles on the way represent inner barriers that must be faced at the psychic centers These barriers form the knots that block the proper energy flow from the psychic nervous system. As such, they correspond to mental defilements, such as ignorance and lust, that limit our awareness. We've already talked about that part. Working one's way through the chakras until one has opened them all and liberated the innermost mind from its imprisonment in the last reached the heart center, and taking the inner journey to Shambhala, we strive to regain this direct awareness of a child with all its sense of wonder and awe, but we cannot do so by retreating in the past and attempting to become children again. We have lost the innocence that enabled us to experience the world directly. We cannot simply ignore or wish away the screen of preconceptions that now obscures our vision. We have to face ourselves and see what we have done to our minds. Only by becoming aware of our illusions and how we cling to them can we free ourselves from the power and awaken a fresh and direct awareness of the world around us. Rather than go back, we have to move forward to a new and wiser innocence, one that combines the wonder of a child with the wisdom of a sage. By treating the ordinary events of daily life as we did the magical features of the journey to Shambhala, we may be able to uncover the hidden aspects of ourselves that we need to know in order to awaken the deeper mind. We can even see the history and prophecy of Shambhala as an allegory for the course of life as a whole. As an initiation, the Buddha's teaching of the Kalachakra in India symbolizes the birth of a baby with fresh new visions of reality. The loss of true religion in the outside world represents the child's loss of awareness and spontaneity as he grows up in a society that encourages him to ignore his inner nature and be false to himself. Just as the barbarian doctrines take over the world, so the values and concerns of others take over his mind, filling it with conflicting desires and illusions. He reaches the stage symbolized by the wars that the victorious barbarians fight amongst themselves. Most people never go beyond this stage. They remain caught in the conflicts of the surface consciousness, unable to get what they want or see themselves as they are. Those who achieve worldly success reach the stage of the king, who unites all the squabbling barbarians under his dictatorial rule. The final battle in the golden age, which represent the real fulfillment of life, the attainment of true maturity. This myth of constant improvement, which has driven us for so long, is now, however, reaching its limits. Even those who seem to have benefited from those who live in the affluent suburbs or the oases of prosperity are experiencing a growing sense of boredom and meaninglessness that drives many of them to random acts of violence and self-destruction. The myth of progress seems, in fact, to have led us into the degenerate period of materialism that is supposed to precede the golden age of Shambhala. Well, we only got another 400 years, so we're good so far.